So when we're talking about negative emotion and how to release it, one of the first parts that we must understand in order to really get in on this idea and then transmute it to something that actually feels good is first off understanding what negative emotion is. Well, what I believe negative emotion is that it's our body's translation saying, it's our body's indication saying that our mind, the way that we're focused, the way that we're thinking is out of alignment from our natural core self. Now, another part of this is that I believe our natural core self is the idea of unconditional love, of pure acceptance, of allowing the moment to be, and that if at any moment we become identified with anything other than this moment of that unconditional love, of that way that we can be, then what we begin to do is we begin to drift off from our natural state and we begin to feel negative emotion. But the other part that I want to propose to you is the idea that negative emotion is extremely powerful and can be a positive thing. Because what negative emotion is telling you, what that indication is telling you, is that the way that you're focusing right now in this moment is not in alignment with who you really are. It is not in alignment with how you prefer to feel, and it most likely is out of alignment with you being present to the moment. So as you become more aware of the idea that negative emotion is a powerful indication that you can refocus your mind and the thought streams that you have, then it becomes more apparent to the idea that you can now move yourself into a better feeling place by focusing on things that make you feel good. Could be your loved ones, feeling grateful for the people that that are in your life, or different things that you've accomplished in your life, or any number of different things that actually make you feel good. Focus on those things. Now, one of the other ones that I believe is such a powerful thing to release the negative emotion is to feel self-amused, or to see the situation as funny. So if, for example, right now, you feel yourself feeling negative emotion, and maybe that's why you clicked on this video, and you want to know how you can let it go, try just laughing. Now, laughing might seem kind of annoying at this point because when you're in that state, laughing seems like the exact opposite of what you really want to do. But what they've shown with at least smiling is that when you smile, the muscles in your cheek begin to actually make you naturally release serotonin, and serotonin is the happy chemical. So the same way that smiling can trick our brain into thinking we're happy, same type of thing happens with laughter, because as we begin to contract our belly, our muscles, and our stomach, we can actually begin to feel that laughter, and we begin to loosen up and realize that life isn't so serious. The things that we might be mad about or have negative emotion about, most likely in a couple weeks we won't even think about, so why put so much energy into it? And one of the easiest ways to do this is to just simply laugh. Now, do it with me right now. The idea is that what I'm going to do is I'm going to just laugh. It's not going to feel congruent at first because I'm forcing myself to laugh, but normally what will happen at the end of that is I actually just laugh at the fact that I'm laughing. So here we go. The idea there is that that's not my natural laugh. Now, part of it is, especially towards the end there, but the idea of me even doing it allows myself to really just loosen up. And sometimes that's exactly what I do. When I am feeling negative emotion, what I do is I force myself to laugh. I might even feel ridiculous doing it, but then I'll actually laugh at the fact that I'm laughing. It's kind of like Inception there. Dream within a dream, but I'm laughing at the fact that I'm laughing. And because of that, it actually loosens me up and helps me feel better about whatever I'm doing. Now, in the same way, I'm going to give a little bit more the idea of something that's really made an impact on my life as far as understanding how to be present in the moment, but it's about one of my favorite books. It's by Eckhart Tolle, and what Mr. Eckhart talks about in The Power of Now, which is an amazing book if you really want to understand how to be more present and how to have a better understanding of what our emotions are. I highly recommend reading the book. But what he talks about is that in the present moment, what we can do is we can allow the moment to be. We can allow it to be, and we don't need to project ourselves to the future because the future isn't here. Think about it. The only moment that really does exist is this moment right now. By the time that you get in the future moment, it's actually going to be this moment right now. And what we view as our past is a great ideology, it's a great memory, but it was, when it was the past, it was this moment now. Now in the same way, we've never been not now in this moment. But a lot of times what our mind can do is it can focus us and project us somewhere where we're actually not. And what that does a lot of times is allow us to feel negative emotion, because we could then become identified with the future, which isn't here, and that could bring with it anxiety or worry. Or we could think about the past and the idea of regret or shame or whatever it is of the way that we're filtering our mind and thinking about the past. But the idea is that if we let those go, if we understand that we can allow the moment to be what it is right now, what we then do is we embody the present moment, and in the present moment are positive emotions. In the ability to allow the moments to be, that is when we actually release that resistance. And one thing he talks about when it comes to releasing negative emotion is the idea that if you let it be okay and you be present with the negative emotion you're feeling, what a lot of times will happen is you will naturally release it because you're letting it be okay that you feel it. If when you're feeling negative emotion you think that's bad and you don't want to feel it, you resist it, you end up having this inner resistance where you're trying to fight yourself to get out of that state. And what we can do to let that be is to understand that we have the negative emotion, to really feel into it, to know that it's okay, to know that eventually the negative emotion is going to go away because you don't remain in that state forever. And because you know that, because you feel that, you're really able to let it be okay, to release it, and to feel better about the situation because we are accepting it and know that in that acceptance it disintegrates. So when it comes to negative emotion, remember that you have the power to think and use the filter of your mind in a different way, to where you think about the situation in a different way. You change the frame of the way you look at it. As you begin to change the frame of what it means to you, because remember that every situation that we experience in our life is fundamentally neutral. We give the meanings to it. So the idea, and I've used this idea before, is of a rainy day. Think about the idea of a rainy day. Just think about it. It's raining. Now if you associate pleasure with that, it's because of the filter of your mind and the way that you relate to the situation. If you hate rainy days because different reasons, it's because of the filter of the mind. It's because of the way that you're thinking about it. The idea is that even if somebody were to betray you or somebody were to do something to you, the idea is that because of the way that you're thinking about it, that is what's generating the negative emotion. But if you change the filter by just understanding that you can be an unconditionally loving person, doesn't mean that you have to accept everything and agree with everything that happens to you, but you can allow it to be what it is, and understand that by you allowing the moment to be, by you allowing the situation to be what it is, you will actually be then transforming it into a different state, and you will actually release that negative emotion. The negative emotion then changes. So to recap, what negative emotion is, from my perspective, is the idea of our body's translation, an indication that's saying that the way that we're thinking and relating to the world in this moment is not in alignment from our natural core self of unconditional love, of being present to the moment, of being self-accepting. And that when we become more aware of that, what we can actually begin to do is to embody the present moment, to know that every situation is inherently neutral, that the filter of our mind determines what is negative and what is positive. And as we begin to do that, we'll really begin to envelop and feel those positive emotions. So I hope at some level this helps you understand a little bit more about what negative emotion is, how to release it through laughter, how to release it through being present to the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like or subscribe right below. You'll see it right under the video, probably right over here or over here. And other than that, I'll see you guys on the next video, which will probably come in the next week. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.